Costa Rica has quietly become one of the top destinations in the world for couples who want a grown-up escape without the noise of kids splashing in the pool or teenagers monopolizing the beach volleyball court. The country blends rainforest, volcanoes, two coastlines, and some of the friendliest hospitality anywhere in Latin America, and a handful of resorts have leaned all the way into serving adults only, packaging everything from meals and drinks to excursions and spa perks into one price. This countdown walks through 8 of the best adults-only all-inclusive resorts scattered across Costa Rica, from the dry Pacific beaches of Guanacaste to the misty jungles further inland. Each one has its own personality, its own price range, and its own idea of what a grown-up getaway should feel like. By the end, viewers should have a pretty clear picture of which of these properties matches their dream trip. The first stop is Secrets Papagayo Costa Rica, a sleek adults-only resort tucked into the Papagayo Peninsula on the Pacific coast. From the moment guests step into the open-air lobby, the vibe is unmistakably romantic, with soaring ceilings, warm woods, and a long infinity view that seems to melt straight into the Gulf of Papagayo. It attracts a lot of honeymooners, anniversary couples, and groups of friends in their 30s and 40s who want a polished resort experience without stepping too far outside their comfort zone. The design leans modern tropical with plenty of stone, water features, and hanging greenery giving the whole property a calm, spa-like feel. It is the kind of place where guests can be as social or as tucked away as they want to be. The rooms are called suites across the board, and even the entry-level categories come with soaking tubs, private balconies, and either garden or ocean views. Preferred club rooms bump things up with better views, upgraded toiletries, and access to a private lounge that serves snacks and premium drinks throughout the day. Dining is where Secrets really flexes, with several restaurants covering Italian, Asian fusion, seafood, steakhouse fare, and a lively beachfront grill. There is no need for reservations at most venues, which is a small but genuinely nice touch when guests just want to wander in after a long day at the pool. The swim-up bar tends to be the social hub, though a quieter adults-only pool on the far side offers more of a lounge-and-dread vibe. Beyond eating and drinking, Secrets Papagayo offers a full spa with hydrotherapy circuits, couples treatment rooms, and the kind of jungle view relaxation areas that make guests linger long after their massage ends. The beach here is a soft crescent of dark volcanic sand, calm enough for paddle boarding and kayaking, both of which are included. Nightly entertainment ranges from live music to themed parties, and the location makes it easy to add on excursions to Rincon de la Vieja Volcano or the nearby beach towns. For couples who want a stylish, low-effort trip with everything within a short walk, this one sets a very high bar. Moving down the coast a bit, the next resort worth talking about is Planet Hollywood Costa Rica, an all-in resort that took over a stunning stretch of Papagayo shoreline and rebranded it with a fun, pop-culture twist. Despite the flashy name, the property itself is surprisingly elegant, with clean architectural lines, huge windows, and a hillside layout that gives nearly every room a view of the ocean. It is adults-focused in feel, though technically family-friendly, which means the atmosphere tends to attract couples, groups of friends, and the occasional bachelor or bachelorette crew looking for a lively but tasteful trip. Movie memorabilia and film-inspired touches show up throughout the resort, but they are woven in with restraint rather than plastered on every wall. That balance between playful and upscale is really what sets the tone here. Rooms are spacious and modern, with rain showers, freestanding tubs in higher categories, and smart tech that lets guests control lighting and climate from a tablet. Star-class rooms unlock a butler service, priority reservations, and access to a private beach club that feels like its own hidden layer of the resort. There are more than a dozen bars and restaurants, including a Japanese teppanyaki spot, an Italian trattoria, a Mediterranean venue, and a beachfront seafood grill that gets consistently high marks. The main pool is a massive multi-level affair with a swim-up bar, while quieter pools tucked into the resort give guests places to escape when the main scene feels a bit too much. A rooftop lounge often hosts sunset events that are worth planning an evening around. The Overtime Sports Bar and a sizable fitness center round out the more active side of things, while the on-site spa offers everything from deep tissue massages to full-day pampering packages. Guests looking for adventure can book zipline tour, catamaran cruises, or day trips into the rainforest through the on-site tour desk. It sits close to the Papagayo Marina, which opens up sport fishing and boating options that many resorts do not have quite so accessible. For travelers who want energy, variety, and a touch of Hollywood shine without a chaotic party scene, this resort strikes an appealing middle ground. Next up is the Riu Palace, Costa Rica. And while this one is technically not adults exclusive, it earns a spot on many grown-up traveler lists because its sister property, Hotel Riu Guanacaste, absorbs most of the family crowd next door, leaving the palace with a noticeably calmer atmosphere. Set on Matapalo Beach, the palace goes big on classic all-inclusive scale with a bright, airy lobby, sweeping staircases, and a resort footprint large enough that guests can walk it off between buffet visits. It caters well to couples and groups who want the security of a big brand experience where everything from top-shelf drinks to room service is truly included. The style leans traditional resort luxury rather than boutique, but the rooms are generously sized and the beach in front is one of the widest in the region. It is a solid pick for travelers who want predictability with a Costa Rican backdrop. Rooms come with liquor dispensers, minibars stocked daily, and either pool or ocean views depending on category. The junior suites in particular offer plenty of room to spread out, with sitting areas and balconies large enough for morning coffee. Dining includes several sit-down restaurants covering steakhouse, Italian, Asian, and Costa Rican-inspired menus, along with a substantial buffet that stays open for long hours. The pool area is enormous, with a swim-up bar and plenty of shaded loungers, and the beach access is direct and easy. 24-hour room service is included, which is one of those small perks that guests seem to appreciate more than they expect. The Renova Spa on site offers a full menu of massages, facials, and body treatments, though it is worth noting that spa services are typically an add-on rather than included. Activities range from beach volleyball and water aerobics to nightly live shows and a small on-site nightclub called Pacha, which is a real rarity at Costa Rican resorts. Sport fishing, snorkeling trips, and rainforest excursions can all be booked through the tour desk. For value seekers who want the Costa Rica setting without the boutique price tag and who do not mind a bigger property, the Riu Palace is hard to argue with. Shifting gears entirely, the next resort is Nayara Springs, and this one is a very different animal. Located up in La Fortuna near the Arenal Volcano, it is a strictly adults-only luxury property built around private villas rather than hotel rooms. Nayara Springs has landed on countless best-of lists for good reason, from its jungle setting to the fact that every single villa comes with a private mineral spring plunge pool fed by natural thermal water. The vibe here is intimate, hushed, and almost otherworldly, with wooden walkways winding through dense rainforest between buildings. It is the kind of place people save up for and remember for years, and it draws honeymooners, milestone anniversaries, and creative travelers who want inspiration along with rest. Each villa is enormous, with an outdoor rain shower, a canopied king bed, and floor-to-ceiling windows that make it feel like guests are living inside the treetops. The all-inclusive package here is more of a curated luxury plan than the typical wristband model, covering fine dining, premium wines, spirits, and even some guided experiences. There is a strong farm-to-table focus in the restaurants, with menus that pull heavily from local producers and organic gardens. Sloths regularly appear in the trees around the property, which is not marketing hype but a genuine daily occurrence that guests talk about long after they go home. Yoga sessions, guided nature walks, and volcano viewpoints are woven right into the rhythm of the stay. The spa sits perched over the jungle, with treatment rooms that open to the sounds of the forest and a menu that leans into indigenous ingredients and traditional techniques. Because it is a small property, service feels deeply personal, and staff often greet returning guests by name within a day or two. Nearby, La Fortuna offers waterfalls, hanging bridges, and hot springs that pair naturally with what the resort already provides. For travelers whose dream trip involves quiet luxury in the rainforest rather than a busy beach scene, Nayara Springs is arguably the single most romantic option in the country. Back on the coast, the next contender is the Hideaway at Royalton Riviera, Cancun's Costa Rica cousin, better known as the Hideaway at Riviera Guanacaste, an adults-only section carved out of the larger Riviera resort. This setup lets adults access their own quieter pools, restaurants, and lounges while still being able to wander into the main resort for extra dining variety when the mood strikes. The hideaway section leans modern and understated, with a chic color palette and generously spaced loungers around a signature adults-only pool. It works well for couples who like the idea of an all-inclusive party mix but still want a peaceful home base to retreat to. The location on Playa Matapalo puts guests within a short drive of Liberia International Airport, which keeps travel days simple. Diamond Club rooms and swimouts are the standout categories here, with direct pool access from the terrace and butler service on call throughout the stay. The dining scene is broad thanks to the shared access with the larger property, and hideaway guests get their own exclusive restaurant along with reservation privileges elsewhere. Sports fans appreciate the sports bar concept that shows major games on multiple screens without disrupting the calmer vibe elsewhere. The main beach is a long stretch of pale sand that is easy to walk, and the resort offers non-motorized water sports as part of the package. It manages to feel both social and private depending on which corner of the resort guests choose. The spa here offers hydrotherapy, couples suites, and a wide range of treatments, though most services carry an additional fee. Group fitness classes, tennis, and beach games keep more active travelers busy, and the concierge can arrange off-site adventures like ATV tour, snorkeling trips, and volcano excursions. Evening entertainment tends toward live music, themed parties, and sometimes acrobatic shows in the main theater. For travelers who want variety, a lively atmosphere within reach, and the option to disappear into a quieter adults zone whenever needed, the hideaway is a smart pick. The next resort to explore is El Mangrove, an autograph collection property on Bahia Papagayo that leans boutique rather than mega resort. It is one of those places that feels more like a stylish design hotel than a traditional all-inclusive, and while it offers optional all-inclusive packages rather than being all-inclusive by default, many guests choose to upgrade for the ease of it. The look is modern, minimalist, and warm, with polished concrete, wood, and lots of plants that soften every corner. It attracts creative professionals, quiet couples, and travelers who want something more curated than a giant chain resort. The whole property has a grown-up feel, though it is not officially adults only, and children are relatively rare in practice. Rooms are airy and sophisticated, with rain showers, private terraces, and the kind of thoughtful lighting that photographers love. The Makoko restaurant serves as the heart of the dining scene, with fresh Pacific seafood, wood-fired dishes, and a menu that changes with what is available locally. There is a beachfront pool that flows almost to the sand, along with a chic beach club scene that feels more chillum than traditional Guanacaste. Cocktails are taken seriously here, and the bar program pulls in tropical fruits, tinctures, and locally distilled spirits. Guests often describe the food and drink experience as one of the strongest aspects of their stay. The wellness scene at El Mangrove includes yoga, guided meditation, a small but well-equipped fitness center, and a spa focused on natural, plant-based treatments. The bay setting is calm enough for paddleboarding and swimming, and the on-site marina makes it easy to jump on a catamaran for a sunset sail. It sits close enough to Playas del Coco to walk into town for a change of scenery, which is a nice option for guests who like to explore. For travelers who want boutique style with an optional all-inclusive layer, this one blends personality with convenience beautifully. Sticking with the boutique theme, the next hotel is Anda's Costa Rica Resort at Peninsula Papagayo, a Hyatt property that similarly leans upscale and offers all-inclusive packages as an option rather than a default. It is not officially adults only, but its layered pool decks, focus on wellness, and price point mean it draws a heavily adult crowd year-round. The architecture is genuinely striking, with organic shapes inspired by the surrounding hills and coves, and the resort sits inside the exclusive Peninsula Papagayo community. That location alone gives guests access to championship golf, a marina, and hiking trails that most resorts simply cannot offer. It is designed for travelers who value design, food, and setting equally. Rooms feel modern and residential, with big windows, indoor-outdoor showers in certain categories, and views that range from mangrove estuaries to open Pacific horizons. There are several restaurants and bars scattered across the property, including a beachfront spot for casual meals and a signature restaurant that leans into Costa Rican ingredients with a refined touch. 3 separate pools each carry a distinct mood from social to serene, which lets couples pick the vibe that matches their day. The Andes Spa is a highlight, with treatments that pull from indigenous traditions and a beautiful open-air relaxation garden. Personalized service is a hallmark, and staff go out of their way to remember preferences. Guests can book fishing, sailing, ziplining, and rainforest hikes through the resort, and the Peninsula Papagayo golf course is a big draw for players. Because it sits within a gated community, security and privacy feel higher than average, which some travelers value more than they realize until they experience it. Evenings tend to be relaxed rather than party-driven, with live music and long dinners as the main entertainment. For travelers who want a design-forward luxury base for exploring Costa Rica with the flexibility to add all-inclusive on top, Andes sits near the top of the list. The final resort on this list is Los Altos Resort in Manuel Antonio, a smaller adults-only luxury property perched on the hills above one of Costa Rica's most beloved national parks. Everything about this place feels tucked away and private, from the arrival experience to the multi-level layout that clings to the hillside. Rather than sprawling grounds, guests get a handful of large residence-style suites and an intimate service style closer to a bed and breakfast than a big resort. The clientele skews toward couples celebrating something meaningful, whether a honeymoon, retirement, or a long-awaited reunion trip. It offers optional all-inclusive plans that cover meals, drinks, and select experiences, making it easy to unplug completely. Suites are enormous, often larger than urban apartments, with full kitchens, dining areas, and terraces built for lazy afternoons overlooking the Pacific. The on-site restaurant focuses on fresh, locally sourced dishes, and there is a personalized service ethos that includes arranging private in-suite meals when guests prefer. A cliffside pool and a quiet lounge area sit at the heart of the property, and the sunsets from that vantage point are the kind that guests describe as unreal. Because the property is small, wait times and crowds are essentially non-existent. Everything runs on a slower, calmer clock. Wellness offerings include in-suite spa treatments, yoga sessions, and access to nearby beaches like Playa Espadilla and Playa Vicente for snorkeling and swimming. The real draw of the location, however, is Manuel Antonio National Park, home to monkeys, sloths, and some of the most photogenic beaches in the country. Guided park tour, catamaran cruises, and mangrove kayaking trips are easy to arrange through the resort. For couples who want nature, privacy, and quiet luxury rather than resort scale, Los Altos closes out this list on a genuinely magical note. Looking at all 8 together, a few patterns start to emerge. Couples chasing pure romance and jungle privacy will find their match in Nayara Springs and Los Altos, both of which lean small, quiet, and deeply personal. Travelers who want energy, variety, and lots of dining and entertainment will feel more at home at Planet Hollywood Costa Rica or the Hideaway at Riviera Guanacaste, where there is always something happening. Design lovers and food-focused travelers should point their attention toward El Mangrove and Andes Costa Rica, which trade sheer size for style and creativity. Secrets Papagayo lands nicely in the middle as a full adults-only classic, while the Rio Palace remains the strongest value pick for guests who want traditional all-inclusive scale in a beautiful setting. Whichever direction the dream trip leans, Costa Rica clearly has an adults-only option ready, and any of these 8 would make a fine story to bring home. Safe travels, and hopefully the next flight south is already on the calendar. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel content. Check the description for links and booking information for all hotels featured in this video. If none of these felt quite right, check out our other hotel top lists to find your perfect match.